So today uh, we'll be starting with the Huygens theory. I think we discussed the Huygens theory in the last class as well, but we'll um, go through it again because it is a big theory and there are a lot of things involved in this theory, and to understand the further concepts you need to revise, or you need to keep in mind what we studied in the last class. So some of you may not remember, so we'll just go through it again. So please remember to mark the attendance and write present in the comments box so that I can mark your attendance. Okay, so Huygens theory of entrepreneurship says that the theory of social change explains when members of social group feel that their value and status are not respected. Okay, so Huygens emphasized, or he recognized, that when somebody is not given the respect or the kind of status that they deserve or they desire in the society, or the society people try to look down upon them, they are some of those people are motivated to the best of their abilities. Further, in this theory, he said that there are four responses of four types of personalities that come out when dealing with such a situation, when the status is withdrawn, or when the respect is withdrawn by the society. So what are the responses? First is retreatist. The entrepreneur either become a retreatist or any of the further three. So retreatist is one who combines continues to work in the society, but remains indifferent to his work and position. So a retreatist is somebody, what he or she will try to do is they continue to work, they do not stop, but they are indifferent. They do not care about what the society thinks of them, what is their position in the society. They're just focus on their work. Okay. Then ritualist. When we talk about ritualist, he is one who adopts a kind of defensive behavior and acts as in the ways accepted and approved in the society, but with no hopes of improving their position. Okay, so a ritualist does not go against the society. He or she tries to be in accordance with the behavior, with the practices of the society, and tries to go and hopes that he or she gets a better position in the society by working according to the ways and the behaviors of the society. Okay. So what is the difference between retreatist and ritualist? A retreatist is not concerned about what his or her position is in the society. They just focus on their work. A ritualist focuses on their work, but works in ways that are accepted in the society, so that the position is improved. Okay, so he or she is trying to improve the position. The third personality type is reformist. Reformist is one who foments a rebellion and attempts to establish a new society. Now a reformist acts against the ways of the society. They are not absolutely not concerned with what are the ways that they should be acting in. Okay, they are rebellious. They rebel against. They act against the rules of the society and try to bring about change in the society. They try to establish a new society. Okay, they try to kill the ways that were not good or according to them that should have been changed, and they try to reform the society in a better way. Okay. And the last one is innovator. Innovator is a creative individual who is likely to be an entrepreneur. So the fourth type is the innovator personality, where the individual becomes an entrepreneur and solves or brings about this type of social change in a positive way, in a creative. Okay. So there are four personality that Hagen has recognized. The first one is retreatist, the second is ritualist, reformist and innovator. Okay. Is that clear? Okay. So moving on. The next theory explained. The next theory is given by Albert Shapiro. Now, Albert Shapiro's theory has described the entrepreneurial event as the formation process. This is the actual activity of starting an enterprise. Shapiro says that the process begins with a life plan, with a life-changing plan. He says that perception of desirability must also be positive if the process is to continue. He further pointed out that the perception of feasibility must also be present. Entrepreneurial activities must appear doable. Now, what Albert Shapiro has said is that he recognized entrepreneurship as a formation process. He says that when a person is involved in entrepreneurship, he or she tries to create or form a new organization or a new enterprise. This is also with respect to changing their life. They have a plan for changing their life or reading their life, and they do that through this entrepreneurship process. Okay. He also said that the perception of desirability is also important. Desirability means when we have a desire for something, we try to achieve it. Desire means we want for something, a need for something. Okay. So we try to achieve it. Try to do everything that is in our power to actually reach there. Okay. So perception of desirability is important for the formation of the enterprise. He also focused on the importance of feasibility. Now, feasibility is already discussed in the past classes. Feasibility means doability. The practical aspect of the innovation is something doable, is something actually practically possible in real world. For example, if I try to create a time machine, that is not feasible. It is not actually doable or practically doable in the current circumstances, because there is no technology that is actually available that can create a time machine. Okay. The next theory is given by Max Weber. Now his theory is known as the Max Weberian model of entrepreneurship. What he says is Max Weber was first to argue that entrepreneurial growth was dependent upon the ethical value system. of the society concerned. Entrepreneurship developed rapidly in those societies where ethical values provided independent capacity of decision making. Max Weber's theory is that religion is a key determinant of entrepreneurial development. He argued that entrepreneurial energies are driven by religious beliefs about causes and consequences. Now, up till now, we have not seen any of the experts give importance to religious activities or religious beliefs and ethical values with respect to entrepreneurship. But Max Weber said that in a society, in a country where the ethical values and the society's religious beliefs are such that they allow a person or an entrepreneur to take independent decisions, to be free, to bring about change. Such countries or such societies give rise to or give birth to more entrepreneurs than societies which are closed, which are traditional, which are not orthodox, which do not allow changes or independent decision making. Okay? So Max Weber has given importance to ethical value system. He said that ethical values bring about such changes or such capacities in a person that gives rise to entrepreneurial growth. Okay? So he has said that entrepreneurship developed rapidly in those societies where ethical values provide independent capacity for decision. Alright? Coming to the next theory, the exposure theory of entrepreneurship. This is a very simple and very important theory. This theory states that exposure to new ideas and opportunities leads to innovation and creativity. Thus creates a new enterprise. An individual's education, cultural values, motivation, economic factors, need for achievement, religious beliefs, and risk-bearing capacity help in exposing. Now, all these points that I just read out, these points we have already discussed in the theories that up till now we have studied. Okay? What this theory explains is that all those theories are important, but from the view that they provide exposure to new ideas, they provide exposure to new concepts, new technology, new countries, new people. That helps in exposing him or her towards the new ideas and opportunities, and thus leading to innovation and creativity. Okay, so innovation is brought about mainly through the exposure to new ideas. If we take an example of competitions or events that are usually held in your colleges or in your schools, all those competitions, all those workshops or any kind of event where people from outside the college, from outside the school are invited to interact with students, with you all. It is done with the view or with the concept of creating exposure. Okay? It brings about people to contact the students and tell them about their experiences, about their life, what they have experienced, what they have been exposed to in the world or in the society. Okay? So what we are trying to do is expose you to new ideas and new ways of thinking, new economic factors. We are trying to motivate you all to become or have a need for achievement. Okay? So entrepreneurship is more prevalent where exposure is better. Okay. So here you can see the exposure theory has been explained in this model. The entrepreneur is influenced by all these factors. What are they? First is need for achievement. The economic factor. Need for achievement means when the entrepreneur has a desire to achieve something, to become successful. Economic factors are the financial factors, the financial aspects of the society or the business. Cultural values also influence the entrepreneur. Motivation has a very big impact on the entrepreneur. Religious beliefs, risk-bearing capacity, and education. All these factors help the entrepreneur to be exposed towards new opportunities and ideas and innovation and creativity. Okay? This exposure to new opportunities and ideas creates a new venture. Okay? So this is a very simple theory. I will share the slide with you all. You can read it through. Just understand what I am trying to explain here. Okay? So we finish off the theories today. There are two left. The 11th theory is political system theory. Many scholars have consensus on the view that an ethical value system disadvantage minority morale, need for achievement, motivation, and exposure to new ideas and opportunities cannot fully explain the growth of entrepreneurship unless the political structure, policies and political system elements are taken into consideration. Okay? This theory has been given by Postlight, a Japanese entrepreneur. Flourish in the political system. He basically studied the Japanese entrepreneurs, and he said that everything, including the ethical system, the ethical values, the religious beliefs, the need for achievement, the motivation, exposure, everything only functions or only helps when the political structure, the political system of the country is in accordance to promote entrepreneurs, to promote businesses. They cannot function without the help or the support of political structure. Political structure of political support provides a lot of things like time to time the government brings about new schemes and new grants. There are new benefits given to businessmen. Also from time to time government brings about entrepreneurship development programs. We study about these programs in further chapters. I think in the last unit we will be studying about EDPs. So EDPs also help in establishing the mental infrastructure. Also the physical infrastructure is developed with the help of political structure, of political support. Okay? So political system also is very crucial when developing entrepreneurship. And the last theory is the regional climate theory. This is a very simple theory. Experts have focused that entrepreneurs develop more enterprises are established in places or in regions which have a climatical condition or a regional condition that is favorable to entrepreneurs. For example, here we have taken the example of Gujarat. Gujarat was the first city where a lot of business activities were developed. Still now also, the business industry is flourishing in Gujarat. The reason is that the uh, climate and the geographical conditions of that region are favorable to business. They have a seashore and it is good in connectivity with the other countries. So it is easier to transport goods from one place to another. So such regional and such geographical conditions that are favorable to entrepreneurs promote entrepreneurship. Okay? So these were the 12 theories of entrepreneurship. I will attach this slide to Moodle, and you can download the slide, or you can just open the slide and read through it. Try to read all these theories, and if you do not understand any of the theories, please ask me in the next class. Tomorrow we'll have the class. I'll try to have a better connectivity tomorrow. Okay. So that will be all for today.